Welcome to the ExpensePoint user tutorial video series. Today we're going to look at the process of creating an expense report. So the first thing we want to do is log into ExpensePoint, and then once you get to the welcome screen, just click on the Expense Manager link. Then we can add a new report from the menu on the side, and we'll just type in here, let's say trip to Paris. And then we can summarize the report as well and save the report. So that's how we create the report. And you can see it is in the upper field here. And now I'm going to select the report below it because I've already got one started. And let's add in another expense here. So we've already got some expenses already added to this report. And we're going to click Add New Expense. So I'm going to put in a date. And then I'll just type in, let's say, car rental. So I just typed in CA and it brought up car rental automatically. Now you can also click from the drop-down list and you're going to see a list of all the different expense categories that your company has. And that will be unique to your company. I'm going to type in, let's say, thrifty, and I just typed in actually THR and it brought up thrifty automatically. Now the reason why it auto-completed it like that is because ExpensePoint on a few fields here, it will remember your previous entries so you don't have to type them in over and over again. And we already have this category defaulted to employee paid as the payment type, as the default payment type. However, we have other ways of paying for travel, and I can also select from that list. And again, that would be unique to your company. All of my coding is done here. I don't have to do any coding. That's all the accounting codes, and that's already pre-filled for me. Now, you'll notice this field. In fact, there's a few of them here, these red dots with exclamation marks in them. What those indicate is that they have been marked as mandatory fields by the administrator of the system. And you'll probably fill in most fields anyway, but this is just to denote that this is absolutely required. And so if you see those, make sure that you want to put the information in there. If you save the expense without completing this information, it simply means that you cannot submit your expense report. So you'll want to make sure you've got that filled in. So I'm going to put in, let's say, a client name, and you can see it's already popped up here for me. I'll put a business purpose. We'll say that's 3 days rental in London. Now this next feature, I'll say it's 49, but I'm in London. I'm going to use pounds. So I just typed in U and it brought up all the currencies that begin with U. United Kingdom pounds, the one I want to select. And this is a particularly great feature for people who are traveling outside of their country where they're using perhaps cash. What ExpensePoint will do is it will convert your total, your receipt total, into your home currency. So in this case here, we had 147 pounds and it automatically converted that to 209.44. So exchange rates are actually fed into the ExpensePoint system every single day. So if I selected a different date, for example, March 10th, if you look at the exchange rate 1.424, it changed to 1.420. So a slight change there. If you know the total and the receipt total were different, you can override those, no problem, but it really is a nice feature. So I'm going to save this expense. Now what's popped up here for me is a policy infraction notice. And in our company, when we rent cars, we have a policy where we're supposed to use Avis. And in this case, it's saying that I have not used Avis and I, in fact, used Thrifty. So if you get a policy infraction like this, we recommend that you add in a comment to that as well. So we'll just put in here, sorry, but Avis was sold out. So we'll add that and we'll save the expense. And now you'll see this line item has been denoted with a red flag next to it, just indicating that it is indeed out of policy. I've put an explanation in for that. As you can see, there's a little call out here. So when the manager sees this report, they will know that it is, again, out of policy, but there is a comment already there for it. I want to show you how to add a mileage expense. So let's add one of those right now. I'm just going to type in mileage, and I'm going to say from home to airport, and it was regarding my trip to the UK. Now I can just type in however many miles I drove, or I can use this really neat feature here. Click Add Route, and it opens up the Google Maps interface here, and I can just put in, let's say, my zip code here, and we'll say to the airport. And here we go, the parkade. So a round trip, that now from here to the airport and back is 26.4 miles. So when I save this, that's what it's put into this field here, 26.4 miles, and then it calculates based on a cost per mile, and it does the reimbursement total here. So I'm going to save that. Now when I save that expense, you'll notice here that it's automatically linked that map to this expense. Whenever you see this paperclip, it just means that it is attached to the map. Now this is the map here, and it's actually in the process of getting converted into an image here. So we'll wait a moment for that to show up. You'll notice here, this meals here has already got a receipt attached to it. Now this is one that an expense that I added on my mobile device. So we have the app for ExpensePoint, and you can do your whole report on your mobile device using the ExpensePoint app. So I've entered this one on there, and I took a photograph of the receipt. So whatever you do in the mobile, it will show up here as well. And I'm going to add in the rest of the receipts for this report. So to add receipts using the browser or desktop, you have two options. You can upload them, and you can also fax them. So I'm going to upload some receipts here, and we'll take this one here. So these are just scanned images. They can be PDFs. Oftentimes I get images of receipts sent to me by email, and I just put them into my folder here for each, I create a folder for each month. And so I'll take this one, and let's say this one as well. So I've got 3 receipts, and I'm now going to upload them to the report. And once the upload is finished, this window will close down, and those receipts will start processing here. If we look back to this one, here's the mileage. It's the routing information for this mileage. If you need to see images closer on screen, you can actually just click on the image, and it will bring it up here in the front, or we'll take this one as well. It just gives you a bigger representation of that image. So that's how we've added those receipts. Now, the third way of adding receipts, so you got the mobile, you can upload images or any file type. You can upload PDF, TIFF, GIF, bitmap. You can also fax receipts. And if we find sometimes people are in situations, home offices, things like that, where they have a fax machine, you can easily fax them as well. So what you do here is you print off this fax cover sheet, and all these numbers, these are all fax numbers that dial ExpensePoint, and this would be page 1 of your fax. So again, your cover sheet, you print this off, and then you would dial the number, and this would feed in as page 1. The barcode is the first thing that ExpensePoint will read, and from this barcode, it links it to this report, and then you feed in page 2, page 3, however many pages of receipts you have. Once that is finished, that transmission is finished, then you are going to see those receipts being processed. So these receipts have now been processed, and we're going to link them now to the individual line items. So we'll take this hotel line item, we'll take this hotel receipt, we'll click on the attach button, and they are now linked. We'll do the same with the car rental, the airline receipt, and I missed one. We'll upload one more. We'll grab one for the restaurant here. So very simple, and that's the restaurant one. I'm going to attach it, and now all of these images are all associated with their respective expense line items. Before you submit the report, you can click on the print preview of the report, and this is an on-screen version of your expense report. The first page is just a really nice clean summary of the report. You can scroll down to see the other pages, or if you just move your mouse here, you'll see the different sections of the print preview. So we're going to go to the report detail. This now gives you all of the detail of each line item. We can go to a weekly summary. This just shows us everything by calendar week. And then we can also go to the accounting page here, and this gives us everything nicely consolidated by GL account code. And you can also see that the receipts are also attached to this report. Once you're finished and you're ready to submit your report, just highlight it and click Mark Report Finished. This report is then sent to your approver for review and approval. Thank you for watching this video, and be sure to check out other videos on how to use the ExpensePoint system.